Hey everyone, Jay here, and today I'm gonna share with you my new title update for Lance sets. I spent the last few days creating a huge document that contains a lot of useful information for Sunbreak Lance. For example, there's a section about switch skills and optimal combos, about what dangos to eat and which followers to bring, about how you can optimize your dog damage, a matchup chart, as well as the new raw and elemental endgame sets. The link to it is gonna be down in the description. Before we start looking at the stuff the title update 4 brought us, I wanted to give a big thank you to Chef and all the other Gathering Hall community members that helped me putting all of this together. Title update 4 added 2 new monsters, Risen Valstrax and Velkhana. Let's take a look at their new armors and skills. Velkhana brings back Frostcraft. Everyone that played Iceborne should know what this skill does, since it stayed pretty much the same. The skill gives you a new gauge that has different levels. When your weapon is sheathed, the gauge starts filling up. Each attack you do slowly consumes the bar. You get a raw and elemental damage boost that depends on the level of your bar. If the bar is full, your damage gets buffed by 30%. This skill is really good on weapons that sheath a lot, because sheathing means refilling your bar. While unfortunately for us Lance players, this skill is not really useful because we don't actually sheath a lot, and I don't think it's worth sheathing just to fill up the bar again. I think the only armor piece that is really interesting for us are the legs. The legs are very attractive for elemental builds since they have critical element 3 and 1 level of element exploit. Especially for the ice build, they're super efficient because they already have ice attack 5 on them. The Risen Valstrax armor introduces the new skill Dragon Conversion. Attacking on blue scroll gives you elemental resistances. When you are on the red scroll, all your elemental resistances get converted to element. The skill itself is really good, and you can get really big element numbers with it. The problem is that the pieces with the skills on it are super inefficient for us. You would have to sacrifice too many core skills to make this build work. So I guess we have to wait for title update 5 and hope that it becomes an augment. The arms, and especially the legs, are actually super good armor pieces. You will see them in some of the builds. The update also added a lot of new interesting decorations. Especially noteworthy for us are the new emboldened decos and the intrepid heart deco. Then there's also new skills added to the augment system. The ones that are interesting for us are Mail of Hellfire, Strife, Powder Mantle, Emboldened and Intrepid Heart. Then there's also the only new weapon, the Velkhana Lance. With its high raw and good slots, it replaces the Lunagaron Lance as a raw option for slightly ice weak monsters like Zinogre or Astalos. I'm gonna start with the raw sets. These sets are good if you want to play Spiral Thrust or Anchor Rage together with Shield Tackle, or if you use Guard Dash with Leaping Thrust plus Charged Wide Sweep. I'm gonna show you 4 different sets. The first one uses the Scorned Lance. Now you might ask, why is the Scorned Lance suddenly here and why was it not here last update? And the reason for that are the new slot bonuses. Since Kaktus counts as a fire weapon, it got 15 raw and 21 element. Scorned on the other hand has no element and got the full 30 raw. So that 15 raw difference is the reason why we see Kaktus fall off a little bit if the monster is not weak to fire. The Scorned set has the highest raw. It's really good because you can literally use it against everything. No need to worry about elemental hit zone values or being reliant on status damage. This makes it really good for multiplayer or if you like to use Spiral Thrust. I don't want the builds to rely on RNG to get the skills needed. Therefore they all have no augments. If you have augments, take a look at the nice to have section. It's a list of skills that you can try to include with your augments to further improve the build. The second build uses the Flaming Espinous Lance. It has lower raw than the Scorned build, but because of the fire and poison on it, it starts beating the Scorned build if the monster has a fire weakness of 10 or higher. And there's a lot of monsters which are slightly fire weak in this game. You can take a look at the matchup chart if you're interested. The third build is a poison build. It has the lowest draw, but it offers really good sharpness. It has 50 hits of white, while all the other builds only have 30 hits. To make up for the difference in raw, you need to get a really good poison uptime. Therefore it's only good if you play alone and the monster is not resistant to poison. The last build uses the new Velkhana Lance. Similar to the Kaktus build, it's an elemental raw counter build. It starts beating the Scorned build if the monster has an ice weak zone of 10 or higher. Alright, now we're gonna look at the elemental builds. The slot bonuses made elemental builds even stronger in this update. If you play an elemental set, you want to abuse the high element scaling on Leaping Thrust. Charged Wide Sweep doesn't scale that well with element. Therefore, our best damage combo changes to just spamming Leaping Thrust, as you can see in the background footage right now. If one of the monster's weak spots has an elemental hit-on value of 20 or higher, elemental sets will start outperforming raw sets. Elemental sets have a very different skill priority than raw builds. I'm gonna provide you with a build for each element. First, let's start with fire. For fire, we also use the Kaktus weapon. The good sharpness, slots and base affinity allow it to run all core skills and even fit build-up boost, which gives it the edge over the other fire lances. For fire, we can also use the Risen Kaiser legs, which fit really nicely into the build. For water, there's two good lances. There's the Mizutsune Lance and then there's the Royal Ludroth Lance. I decided to go with the Royal Ludroth Lance, since with the new augment bonus, it's possible to get it to purple sharpness without sacrificing too many skills. And because of that, it outperforms the Mizutsune Lance. For thunder, we still go with the Narva Lance. It's the lance with the most element in the game, and thanks to the augment bonus, it now has natural purple sharpness. Ice is very interesting. In Title Update 3, we used the Samite Lance with white sharpness. But now, thanks to the augment bonus and the new Rimguard Greaves, we are able to use the Aura Lance with purple sharpness. The Aura Lance with purple sharpness outperforms the Samite Lance. Although with really good augments you can bring Samite to purple, which then outperforms the Aura again. Dragon is the weirdest out of all elements. There's not really a good Dragon Lance. The two best options are the Valstrax Lance and the Raging Wyvern Plus from the Dragon Tree. There is a build that brings Raging Wyvern to purple sharpness, which makes it have more element than the Valstrax Lance. It's just that a lot of good dragon matchups also have very high raw hit-on values. That and the huge amount of white sharpness that the Valstrax Lance has makes it the better choice. I tried to keep this whole video as short as possible. The written guide goes a lot more into detail about how you can upgrade your build with Augment, so if you are interested in that, I highly recommend you go check it out. It also contains a lot of other useful information, and I've already heard from a lot of people that they learned something from it. So yeah, with that said, see you in Title Update 5.